Have you ever cut acrylic and ended up with cloudy edges, flashback marks, or just inconsistent results? Maybe you spent hours changing settings, watched a dozen YouTube videos, copied someone else's numbers, and somehow your cuts still don't look the way you hoped. If that sounds like you, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest things that have improved my acrylic cuts over the years. These aren't magic settings and they're not quick hacks. They're simple changes that when combined have made a huge difference in getting cleaner, more consistent results. We'll also cover a few LightBurn features that I think are often overlooked, and I'll finish with some bonus tips that have helped me along the way. By the end of this video, my hope is that you just don't copy what I do. I want you to understand why these tips work so you can apply them to your own machine and start getting better results. Before we jump into it, my name is Jose and I own Summit Imprint. I make custom laser engraved products, and one of the things I enjoy most is sharing what I've learned along the way. I'm definitely not claiming to know everything, and I'm still learning every day. But if I can help you save some time, material, and frustration by sharing what worked for me, then that's exactly what I hope this video does. Before we start changing settings or looking at LightBurn, let's make sure your laser is actually performing the way it's supposed to. I know cleaning mirrors and lenses isn't the most exciting topic, but honestly, it's one of the most important. Every time your laser cuts material, especially acrylic, smoke and tiny particles are produced. Over time, that residue slowly builds up on your mirrors and your focus lens. Sometimes it's obvious, but other times it's so light that you don't even notice it. The problem is that your laser beam has to pass through all of those optics before it reaches your material. If your lens or mirrors are dirty, that beam isn't as clean or efficient as it should be. Instead of delivering all of its energy into one concentrated point, some of that energy gets scattered or absorbed before it even reaches your acrylic. The results can be weaker cuts, inconsistent edge quality, longer cutting times, and in some cases, you might even find yourself increasing your power to compensate for a problem that could have been solved with a quick cleaning. Personally, I like making optics cleaning part of my routine instead of waiting until something starts going wrong. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it gives me confidence that my machine is performing consistently. Now let's talk about focus. Even if your optics are perfectly clean, your cuts still won't look their best if your material isn't focused correctly. Think of your laser beam like a flashlight. When it's focused correctly, all that energy is concentrated into one tiny point. That's exactly what you want. But if you're too high or too low, that beam spreads out, meaning the laser has to work harder to do the same job. That can lead to rougher edges, excess heat, incomplete cuts, or simply lower quality results. Every machine focuses a little different. Whether you're using an autofocus system or a manual focus tool, taking a few extra seconds to make sure your material is properly focused is always worth it. One more thing I'll quickly mention is mirror alignment. I'm not going to dive into alignment in this video because it's a topic all on its own, but if you've cleaned your optics, confirmed your focus, and you're still getting inconsistent cuts across different areas of your bed, alignment is definitely something I'd recommend checking. At the end of the day, your settings can only do so much. If the beam itself isn't as strong or as accurate as it should be, you're already fighting an uphill battle before the cut even begins. So now that we know the laser itself is in good shape, let's move on to one of the biggest improvements I've ever made for acrylic. This next tip is probably the biggest improvement I've made when it comes to cutting acrylic. If you've ever flipped over a finished piece and noticed random burn marks or little melted spots on the bottom, you've experienced what's commonly called flashbacks. This happens when your acrylic sits directly on the honeycomb bed. There's very little space for heat and smoke to escape. The result is those marks that can turn an otherwise beautiful piece into something that needs extra cleanup, or even worse, has to be remade. Personally, I like using small acrylic pins because they're inexpensive, easy to move around, and they don't interfere with the cut. There are plenty of other options too, but the important thing is creating a small gap underneath the material. That extra space allows smoke to escape much more easily instead of being trapped between the acrylic and the honeycomb. It also reduces the amount of reflected heat coming back toward the bottom of your material. Now that we've improved airflow underneath the material, let's talk about air assist, because this is one of the settings I see misunderstood the most. When I first started cutting acrylic, I had the mindset that more air had to be better. More airflow should mean cleaner cuts, right? Well, after spending a lot of time testing different materials and settings, I realized that that's not always the case. The purpose of air assist is to blow smoke and debris away from the laser beam while also helping prevent excessive flames during the cut. It's an important part of the process, but just like everything else with lasers, there's a balance. If your air assist is too low, smoke can build up around the cut, increasing the chance of flare-ups and leaving behind more residue. But on the other hand, if your air assist is too high, you're forcing a large amount of air directly into the cut. The extra airflow can cool the acrylic edge too quickly and interfere with the natural flame polishing that acrylic is known for. Personally, I like using just enough air to control small flare-ups while still allowing the acrylic to cut cleanly. I'm not trying to blast a cut with as much air as possible. I'm trying to find that sweet spot where the laser can do its job without excessive flames. What I recommend you do is grab a scrap piece of acrylic and run a few small test cuts. Leave everything else exactly the same and only adjust your air assist. Then compare the edge quality, compare the amount of residue, and compare the finish. Once you found that balance with your air assist, the next step is making sure you're dialing the rest of your settings the right way. This is probably the question I get asked more than anything else. What are your settings? Honestly, I understand why. We all want that shortcut. We want someone to give us the perfect speed and power so we can skip all the trial and error. The problem is, there isn't one perfect setting. Every laser is different. Even two identical machines with the same wattage can produce different results because of tube health, alignment, optics, lenses, air assist, or even the brand of acrylic you're using. That's why I encourage people to run test grids. Whenever I'm working with a new material, I don't immediately throw a customer order in the laser. I grab a scrap piece first, I'll cut a few simple shapes, maybe a square or a circle, and I only change one variable at a time. If I'm testing speed, I leave the power exactly the same. If I'm testing power, I don't touch my speed. Making one adjustment at a time allows you to clearly see what actually improved the cut. One thing I've learned is that faster doesn't always mean better. I know it's tempting to push your machine as fast as possible, especially when you have a lot of orders to get through. But I'd rather spend an extra 20 seconds cutting than waste 10 minutes remaking a project because I try to rush it. Now before we move on, I want to share a couple LightBurn features that I think don't get talked about enough. By default, your laser starts and stops directly on the edge of your design. Sometimes that can leave a tiny blemish where the laser pierces the material or where the cut finishes. It's usually small, but once you notice it, it's hard to ignore. One feature I like using in LightBurn is lead in and lead out. Instead of starting the cut directly on your finished edge, LightBurn can begin just outside of your design, move into the cut, complete the shape, and then continue just outside the design again before stopping. It's a simple setting, but if you're making signs, keychains, or other products where appearance matters, it's definitely worth taking advantage of. Another setting worth experimenting with is hide backlash. Mechanical backlash is the small amount of play that can exist in your laser belts, pulleys, or moving parts. That tiny movement can sometimes show up as small gaps where cuts start and end, or circles that don't close perfectly. Enabling hide backlash changes the way LightBurn plans the toolpath to help minimize those imperfections, often resulting in cleaner vector cuts. So now we've talked about keeping your machine clean, improving airflow under the material, dialing in your air assist, and learning how to find the best settings for your laser. Let's move on to one simple trick that is worth talking about, and that's the damp paper towel method. If you've spent any time researching acrylic cutting, you've probably seen someone recommend laying a damp paper towel under the acrylic before cutting, and the truth is, it does work. The moisture helps absorb some of the heat during the cut, which can reduce surface marks and in some situations, produce a cleaner looking edge. I've used this method myself, and there are definitely times when it can make a noticeable difference. That being said, I don't like relying on it as my first solution. If your optics are clean, your acrylic is raised off the bed, your air assist is dialed in, and your settings are working well, you may not need the paper towel method at all. I see it more as another tool in your toolbox rather than something you should automatically use on every job. Remember, the goal isn't just getting one clean cut. The goal is building a process that gives you clean cuts consistently. Before we wrap up, here are a few bonus tips that have helped me over the years. Use quality acrylic whenever possible. Not every sheet is manufactured the same, and cheaper acrylic can sometimes produce inconsistent results no matter how good your settings are. Whenever possible, choose cast acrylic over extruded acrylic. Cast acrylic generally engraves better and often produces cleaner and more polished laser cut edges. Leave the protective masking on until you're finished. It helps protect the surface from scratches, fingerprints, and smoke residue while you're working. Keep your honeycomb and your machine clean. Smoke residue builds over time, and regular maintenance goes a long way toward keeping your cuts consistent. Keep a notebook, or better yet, build a material library in LightBurn. Every time you find settings that work, save them. Your future self will thank you. And probably my biggest piece of advice, only change one variable at a time. If you change your speed, power, air assist, and focus all at once, you'll never know what actually fixed the problem. Small intentional adjustments will teach you far more about your laser than copying someone else's settings. The biggest takeaway I want you to leave with is this: don't chase someone else's settings. Learn how your machine responds, Make one adjustment at a time and let the results guide you. Once you understand why something works, troubleshooting becomes a whole lot easier. If you find this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a like and consider subscribing. My goal with this channel is to share what I've learned along the way and hopefully make your laser journey a little easier. And if you have a tip that's worked well for you, or there's a topic you'd like me to cover in the future, leave a comment below. I read every comment and I'd love to hear what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.